Deadliest aliens in sci-fi movies. Our fascination with alien life has been as old as the times when we first started studying the universe. If science fiction has done anything, it has made us fear the first encounter with alien creatures. For years, writers and filmmakers have created some of the most captivating stories regarding the organisms of outer space. Many of these extraterrestrials have been deadly and terrifying killers that wreak havoc on human life. In this video, we have put together some of the deadliest alien monsters that we came across in sci-fi flicks over the years. It is important to note that these are only aliens from movies, and we have kept the massive world of TV series or comics out of it. Enjoy the show and embrace yourself for something disastrous if you see a mysterious flying saucer. Before we go into our explanation, we have a very small request. If you like our content, please support us by subscribing to our channel. This is a small click for you, but for us, it means a lot. Thank you. Let's begin.
One day, someone like me is gonna kill you and your whole fucking race.
Brainbug, Starship Troopers. You have probably watched the Brainbug in action in the Starship Troopers movie, but to give you a better insight into this alien, we will take you to the book version. Brainbug is shown to be the leader of a bug colony and has a telepathic connection with the members of the colony. These are the members of the Arachnids and have a commanding role in the armies.
This is Roughneck 2-0. Brainbug side moving west of Grid 5.
However, unlike some of the scary aliens on our list, the Brainbug doesn't have much of an intimidating form. It is held by the humans in their power suits, and if it dies, the bug colony dies as well.
It's afraid!
These aliens have bloated bodies and legs that are barely functional. They are obese, fleshy, slug-like aliens that couldn't even move by themselves and had to be carried around by a swarm of insectoid servants. They are dependent on their workers for survival. Their control over the bug colonies meant that they could direct these forces to face a threat from enemies. However, they were also extremely intelligent and worked efficiently for their race. Brainbug had a unique ability that you seldom see in other aliens. It could steal the knowledge from the minds of other creatures. This allowed it to use the human bodies as well, and in the movie we saw them call for reinforcements like this. The United Citizen Federation was initially unaware of the Brainbug, and it was only after suffering huge casualties that they realized their presence. Throughout the franchise, these aliens provided some intriguing stories that will keep you interested throughout the narrative. Harvesters, Independence Day. The Harvesters are certainly one of the most technologically advanced alien species in the list we have prepared. These extraterrestrial beings destroy entire planets simply to refuel their spaceship and develop their technology even further. They can push races to extinction, and in short, they are a threat to the universe order.
What is it you want us to do?
The Harvesters have a somewhat quasi-humanoid body without their biosuits, boasting a small build and similar tolerance levels to that of humans. The survivors from various species that the Harvesters had destroyed formed a coalition and fought these violent creatures. Their war eventually moved into a stalemate, with neither side being able to achieve a decisive victory. A spaceship carrying a few of these Harvesters crash-landed on the Earth, and it was taken to Area 51 for study. When the mothership came to invade the Earth, it took a nuclear device to destroy the spaceship and its fleets.
We did it! The son of a bitch did it!
Even after such large-scale destruction, some managed to survive and put up a brief fight before being eliminated by the humans. However, before being obliterated, they sent a distress signal to the rest of their species that reached them many years later. It took yet another special effort to put an end to the Harvesters once and for all.
I surrender!
Martians, Mars Attacks. Mars Attacks was an interesting film with a star-studded cast that all sci-fi lovers seem to enjoy. With the likes of Jack Nicholson and Pierce Brosnan, the story is about aliens from Mars who come to Earth and meet the President of the United States. They start off pretending to be visiting for peaceful purposes, but soon their real motives are revealed when they begin attacking cities. Martians are the primary villains in the movie by Tim Burton, and he had the most innovative idea when it came to their appearance: large, rounded eyes and an oversized head that resembled a brain, and a face that was somewhat like a skeleton with minimal muscle mass. They seem to be pretty curious about human life and behavior, but their viciousness is clear from the way they attack. There is no remorse or mercy, and their warlike tendencies make them assault anything in their sight. The Martians have rather comical mannerisms, but there is nothing funny about their deadly disintegrator rays. Their leader has a shrinking gun, and their spaceships can destroy buildings with a heat ray. They are not really invincible, and human guns can fatally injure them. The problem is that these aliens are super fast, and thus it is extremely difficult to target them. Besides, their weapons do far greater damage to humans. There is an interesting origin story in the movie that we won't spoil for you, but it does explain their hostile behavior. You will have a blast with this movie and the hilarious antics of these strange aliens. Boris the Animal, Men in Black 3. The Men in Black series provided us with some of the most amusing and deadliest aliens that were ever seen in cinematic history. Boris, also referred to as the Animal, is certainly one of the highlights among these alien characters. He was the last known member of his race and a notorious intergalactic criminal. He had an insect-like pet named Weasel living in his right hand, and it became one of the biggest weapons for him.
You complete me.
Boris was shown to be a hot-headed, ruthless criminal who was a devilish psychopath and would kill anyone who got in his way.
Let's agree to disagree.
Murders were amusing for him, and Agent K had some very interesting face-offs against this alien monster. When Boris escaped from the Lunar Max prison, he went back in time to prevent Agent K from shooting off his arm. However, Agent K did the same, and this time instead of arresting him, K tried killing him. Boris was also shown to be responsible for the death of Agent's father, making this a sort of revenge mission as well. Jermaine Clement played the role, and we have to say that he did a fabulous job of portraying this criminal alien. The Blob. The Blob. Do you remember the amorphous, gelatinous alien in the movie The Blob? It was nothing like what we had seen before. We knew little about their origins, and at first glance, they wouldn't seem at all intimidating. This is because the Blob is exactly what the name suggests, a blob of no definite size or shape. It, however, has the power to change form at will and can consume any living thing that it traps. A super fast digestive system ensures that the consumption process takes very little time, and with each prey, the blob grows in size. You would be surprised at the amazing speed of this creature given the shape. It can be pretty fast and strong for such a gelatinous organism, and it moves around by slithering all over the place. Initially, the blob had a transparent white color that changed to dark red from the blood of its prey. There is no clear way to get rid of this notorious alien being. It is susceptible to very low temperatures that cause it to solidify. However, once the temperature increases, the blob comes back to life again. In the movie, the blob landed on Earth and started attacking people. Eventually, various fire extinguishers and freezing techniques were used to freeze the creature, and then it was dropped in the Arctic Ocean. The Body Snatchers, The Invasion. It is absolutely terrifying when the greatest enemy can hide in plain sight without being identified easily. That is precisely what Invasion of the Body Snatchers did to the audience. They introduced the Body Snatchers, or the Pod People, who replace people. These were alien spores that landed on Earth and attempted to take over by replacing the population. The movie was interpreted in multiple ways, but critics and fans have agreed that the prospect of such a silent killer was pretty entertaining to watch. According to some, the narrative was a nice allegory for nuclear war and spoke volumes about the threat from the communist groups living amongst us in the US. Their origin stories are not specifically mentioned, but it is assumed that these alien creatures are fleeing from their dying world. The Earth seemed like a perfect new refuge, and they wanted to dominate and control the planet. The novel version portrayed them as extraterrestrial parasites that roamed around in space guided by solar winds, trying to find a place for themselves. Their only objective was their individual survival, and they could lay an entire civilization to waste for that. The climax is pretty different for the novel and the movies that followed. The 1978 version, for instance, ends with the pod people taking over the planet, although the book version specified the alien beings leaving the Earth after strong human resistance. Whatever is the case, we had no idea that plant pods and foam could be influential in cooking up such a scary story. The Thing. The faster the alien creature could adapt to its surroundings, the deadlier it became. In the movie The Thing, the alien in question could shapeshift in the wink of an eye and could take the shape of other life forms. This not only made detection difficult, but also makes the original shape and size of the species confusing. There's a good chance that before landing up on the Earth, these creatures have encountered numerous other species and assimilated into them. And the novel version titled Who Goes There, their original form is specified as a blue-haired creature with 3 red eyes. Following the first appearance in the movie, the Thing gained such popularity as a hostile alien species that it also featured as the main antagonist in the prequel and the video games that followed. The only things that could harm this creature were fire and potentially molecular acid that could destroy its cellular integrity. It is seen in a variety of features as having tentacles, insect-like limbs, and even claws. Even the harshest weather conditions are no trouble whatsoever for the alien creature. This vicious shape-shifting alien is only concerned about self-preservation and looks to assimilate into the next thing possible. The larger the creature, the smarter it seems to be, and when threatened, they attack without a care in the world. If you haven't watched the movies already, it is high time you did, just for the sake of this strange alien being. Mega Kaiju, Pacific Rim Uprising. Pacific Rim Uprising was the second film in the Pacific Rim franchise that was started by Guillermo del Toro. This movie was certainly inferior to the one made by Guillermo, but the Mega Kaiju was simply unforgettable. This was a deadly kaiju hybrid that was created by fusing the forms of Category 4 and Category 5 kaiju like Hakuja, Raijin, and Shrikethorn. This 6-legged kaiju looked absolutely menacing with its 2 spear-ended tails, and its shoulders were fused with Raijin's upper arm structure. The 10 eyes on either side of its head add to its ridiculous appearance. The gigantic creature stood over 500 feet tall and was an extremely hostile alien. The Mega Kaiju was a mighty beast and possessed the power to redirect kinetic energy. Its unbelievable strength was enhanced with insane durability that almost made it invincible. The ability to store kinetic energy means that it can punch the ground and cause a shockwave that is powerful enough to destroy buildings in the surrounding region. During combat, it often uses its 2 tails as a close-range weapon, which we saw during the fight sequences. After some nail-biting battles, Mega Kaiju heads to Mount Fuji to jump into the volcano and create an extinction event. The heroic efforts of Gypsy Avenger saved the day as he performed a kamikaze dive to hit the kaiju just before it leaped.
What are you going to do with those pies, boys?
Killer Klown, Killer Klowns from Outer Space. Clowns and horror go hand in hand, so it is no surprise that while thinking of a terrifying alien monster, the makers came across the idea of one that looks like one of the colorful circus clowns. Killer Klowns are a malicious alien species that have some strange and comical methods of harvesting humans to eat them later. Their futuristic tools and weapons are pretty effective, and despite their silly mannerisms, they pack quite a brain. One of their distinctive features is that they are always wearing colorful makeup. Even their eyes are painted and lean, and their hair is usually of multiple colors. A startling weapon that the killer clowns have is a gun that encases victims into a cocoon. It looks like cotton candy, and eventually the victim melts into a red liquid for the aliens to drink. While humans rank high in their preference, these carnivorous aliens are also happy to consume other animals. The worst part about them is that their looks are deceptive and no one would take them seriously. One wouldn't have the slightest idea about their sinister plans, and once they walk into the trap, it is too late. These aliens are pretty strong and durable, and even bullet shots cannot do much damage. The only way to kill them is to shoot them in their nose. If the leader is killed, the whole clan will be destroyed as well. The movie Killer Clowns from Outer Space was a wacky tale of these alien creatures wreaking havoc on the town. We enjoyed the antics of these evil psychopaths, and they're easily one of the weirdest aliens on this list. The Faculty. In the sci-fi horror film The Faculty, the alien creatures absolutely stole the show. One of the queens of the species, Mary Beth Louise, served as the main antagonist, and these aquatic creatures proved to be a scary alien race that had some special powers. These aliens could also live out of water as long as they were properly hydrated, and the queen had a telepathic connection with the other aliens. However, this also implied that if you managed to kill her, the others died as well. The makers gave this alien creature a curious appearance, where it resembled fish or tadpoles. These creatures also had creepy tentacles and sharp teeth to attack their prey. They would enter the human body through the ears and start controlling them, even controlling their memories and behavior. The aliens here were shapeshifters and were almost immortal because even if they were cut in two, they could survive. The only possible weakness in these aliens was to somehow put them without water or kill the queen. Their home planet started running out of water resources, and this made them land on Earth for a new habitat. In the movie, a student who wasn't infected by these aliens managed to kill the queen with a diuretic drug, and the remaining aliens died as well. Clover, Cloverfield. Two of the best creature artists back in the day, J.J. Abrams and Neville Page, created Clover, the eerie underwater alien in the movie Cloverfield. According to the narrative, the creature originated from the Atlantic Ocean and was somehow roused by submarines that were sent to investigate the region. Once it was awakened, Clover destroyed cities and launched a scathing attack that took the world by surprise. When the government was cornered by the surprise attack, they sacrificed New York City and bombed the creature. However, it was not before the monster had killed many through some gruesome murders.
Whatever it is, it killed my brother, Jason Hawkins, it killed my best friend Hudson Platt, and Marlena Diamond, and many, many others.
The movie ends with the end credits whispering that the creature still lives, although J.J. Abrams considers that the military bombing would kill it. The origin of this mysterious creature is never clearly explained, but some versions suggest that it had an extraterrestrial origin and fell from outer space. Clover is gigantic, at 240 to 300 feet high, and has somewhat of a dinosaur-like appearance. It was extremely durable and could withstand attacks from various firearms and missiles. We don't know about you, but Clover certainly reminded us of Godzilla. Xenomorph, Alien franchise. The Xenomorph is the superstar in the world of alien antagonists. This is easily one of the most iconic extraterrestrials in fiction, and the Alien franchise has made a strong impact, courtesy of the vicious beast. The Xenomorph has a multi-stage life cycle and needs a host organism to reproduce. There is not one fixed appearance for the Xenomorph, and it varies depending on the host and where the embryo is planted. The usual size is around 7 to 9 feet tall, with a grotesque curved head and a muscular tail. The size of the queen is almost double that of the other Xenomorphs. The queen is also extremely intelligent, adding to her deadly nature. The Xenomorph is a lethal predator and almost invincible with its incredible strength and speed. One of the scariest things about this creature was the way it would launch itself into the face of the host and then consume parts of the human to finally emerge from the chest cavity. It made for one of the most gruesome moments in sci-fi history and earned the Xenomorph the title of Facehugger. Development from its young stage to the mature stage takes only about a few hours, and in their prime, fire is one of the things that they are vulnerable to. When under attack, the Xenomorph can devise a quick counterplan to launch an ambush or escape. There are even instances that suggest that they have a collective memory that can be passed on.
You one ugly motherfucker.
Sci-fi lovers are well acquainted with the Predator franchise, and one of the things that made the movie series so special was the alien species called the Yautja. These were also termed predators or hunters for their habits. This dangerous alien race would hunt down other extraterrestrial creatures, including humans, for fun. Their technological advancements have far surpassed that of humans on the Earth, and their hunting tactics are a fine mix of advanced technology and primitive weapons like nets and spears. These aliens are so morbid and ruthless that they mutilate their prey for sport and claim some kind of trophy for their victims. They have had a long-standing conflict with humanity, and over the years their spaceships have toured Earth, where they hunted down their prey at will. These bipedal humanoids are much taller than people and have long hairy appendages on their heads. They do not have a visible nose, and their skin is somewhat reptilian in nature. The Yautja could live to be over 1,000 years old, and they can heal from any serious damage done to them. Even viruses and bacteria cannot affect their system. There are several stories around these deadly and mysterious extraterrestrials, and the Predator series is a must-watch for those who haven't seen it already. Symbiotes, Venom / Spiderman. We all know about these extraterrestrial parasites that made for one of the most iconic villains in the Spider-Man universe. However, the comic book version has also shown the two working together in some cases. The symbiotes are known to cover up their host in a costume and create a strange parasitic bond that influences behavior. The symbiotes are sentient creatures and are aware of their surroundings. They feed off the emotions of the host, and thus it is unfair to say that the symbiotes are evil in themselves.
How do you even know about that?
I know everything.
You do?
Everything about you.
How?
When the host is a notorious person, it rubs off on them as well, and the super strength that the host acquires can be used for villainous purposes.
T-minus 4 minutes, 30 seconds.
There are hundreds of Venom stories, but in the Spider-Man movie, Eddie Brock becomes Venom during a very vulnerable stage of his life. The anger inside him against Spider-Man found an outlet, and the superhero had to battle mighty Venom in a power-packed climax. The only vulnerability of this creature was in massive vibrations and heat. The movie version made him look like the exact opposite of Spider-Man, with a black suit that appeared every bit as menacing as the character. Together with Sandman, he formed a deadly duo that almost got the better of Spider-Man till he had some help from Harry Osborn. And if you liked our content, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to us if you haven't already. Have a good one and be safe. Thanks everyone.
Look out!
Go ahead. Rest, man.